Hey y'all, what's up? It's Lavish here. We're PB reviewing Gadgete's recent Silver Nugget for PB. Hopefully this is informative to anyone looking to further their time in the category. Um, and to Gadget as well. I hope this works. I'm also going to be drawing stuff on the screen, and I think that's going to be hype. Like that. So, start of the run. Six. I have a set of visual cues I use here to get it in 4 and then a turn. You just spend less time lifting the rock, is all. And you end up a little lower. If you want to know more about that, I can show you, but like I think your any percent is solid. I have faith. Yeah. One thing, you can't LE into the dash pad. You either have to land before it, or just let go of X early. This is just an unfortunate thing that happens. Yeah. Nice. Okay, good. Could take it to a slightly straighter line with less throws, but that's fine. Honestly, it's at this point in a no credits work environment, it's a whatever works kind of thing. Like you're losing like maybe like I'd usually want to exit S2 with like a 42 personally. You're not losing much at all. Don't sweat it. I'm just giving you tips so like you know. Okay. Really far to the left. But I guess it works. If you want to avoid the tornado, which I assume is what you're doing and why you angled yourself this way, you just want to do 3 and then just wait. If you just wait until you're like around like here, it's hard to describe when like you're not in the right place. Wait until about like before this part of the building right here. Before that, just before that, and then you do another one and turn to the left. Then you'll get yourself a much nicer angle. Overall, good Crisis City. Pretty standard for Section 1, Section 2. Section 3, you just broke really early. Interesting hovering out of the first cycle. I've never seen anyone do that before. But like if you don't hit an LE, it kills your speed. And then you have to re-accelerate. So I think it's just faster to just cut your losses and land and run. But it is interesting. Like, it doesn't make a difference in the end. I understand. I understand I understand why you do that. If you move too far towards the center, he's just going to spin up a rock pile immediately. I mean, a building immediately, and you'll be really sad. So I understand. Oh? Okay. This is a weird order to pick up the rocks in, left, right, center. I guess I can talk more about bonus cycle later, if you feel like it, but... You got one, that's fine. You protected your puffs. Okay. The thing is, with these, specifically, rotate less fast. Please. You want to do slow rotations? Because if one of these runs into something, could be another puff that you hold, could be another puff that you're not holding. Your batch is just gone. So, and also make sure to keep holding lift even after you have all your puffs, just in case, so that you pick up any potential obstructions. Like, even like after here, you keep holding lift. Oh wait, no, you throw after this. I'm not sure if you can do that, but like 44. You clocked in, you clocked out. Good job. Usually, that was a good angle, but you ended up really far to the right. The reason why is you didn't go around enough on the turn. I like being like one polygon to the right here. I'd like being like right here. And then all you need to do is one and then maybe a late second, and you end up right on the mirror. And then you make it, yeah. Tropical jungle, it's super straightforward. You kind of yorded off at the last second. Oh well. Maybe you neutral stick before you press X. Maybe the angle was wrong when you did press X. I don't know. It's fine. You made it. Wave Ocean Blaze, you hit the skip. Who cares? You got a 46. Congratulations. Your setup was okay in speed. Mission 8 skip. I don't know how to feel about not taking the string versus taking the string. I like taking the string not just because it gives you a better camera and a better box position going into the clip. Like, because you can see where everything is here. When you go back under where you came from, you get this really weird camera, which is hard to maintain speed, A, and B, your boxes come to you eventually. One thing I like doing is moving up against this front wall, just walking up against it, just to make sure I'm close enough. If I start to catch air, I go back and like trying to make sure it's more flush with this front wall again. But you were fine, so good shit. Ooh, that's super risky. You saw those bullets? You were far away enough to where the bullets delayed, but like if you were anywhere like further left, the robot would have thrown both arms and fired sooner, and your run was just dead. Respectable second cycle. When you're standing here, I would turn like this way. Just like while you're holding the pot, you just face this direction. That way it comes around to a very reasonable angle once it clips out. And then after it clips out, you face directly away from the wall. Like you are right now. But, like, during the hold, like, when you're holding the pot, you want to face, like, along the wall. Like, this is the wall. You're facing, like, if forward is, like, you directly facing the wall, you want to face left. Just hard left. And I did already watch this PB. Oh, that's never good. Oh, that's never good. That's like the one time I've ever seen, like, quickly picking up and dropping it working out for somebody. But, hey, go off. This is, like, what you want. Okay. We made it. Okay. That was a little scary. But you kind of slid into a good place. If you wanted to be really optimal, you could have tapped hard left. And then teller through downwards to make the pot break on the ceiling. But that's just a thing you can do, I suppose. Not a thing you have to do. 107. You know, you made it. One thing I'll note is, like, find something that works for you as far as, like, when you're lifting this pot, find a visual cue on, like, when it spins on where to drop it so you get a good alignment. When you get so you get this alignment. Because it'll spin at a relatively constant speed eventually. And that way you can just look at the handles and just try and find a good time for you that lets you get this. Bonk. Alright, I don't think I've ever explained how to do this fight. So I don't blame you. So here's the thing about what you just did. And this is kind of like a fundamental thing about Silver. Silver, and you may have heard this before, throws objects in the order you pick them up. Look at where these objects go. Just keep track of them. They're right, like, here still. And you got, like, these objects blocking the way on the way to Sonic. So the order is generally going to be left to right here. With Sonic, I think it's to the right of where you are. So you're going to get a bunch of whiffs. Or the tables and chairs are just going to run into each other and you're going to get a bunch of whiffs anyways. Yeah. Yeah, you're not getting damage off of your first couple chairs and tables because you're not spacing them out enough relative to your other objects. I would recommend looking at how I do the fight. The start strat is a little intimidating, but it guarantees you a good batch of damage. Even if, like, it might be a little risky because Sonic might be incredibly close to you and you get hit by shrapnel and die. So, like, yeah. Again, like, well, the thing I would have done there is I would have done a circle. Just spin Silver around so that you spin his objects around and they kind of have to separate in order to follow you on both sides. But hey, it killed. Who cares? And you didn't take a ring. Congrats. Sonic is always optimal. Shock race would skip. Yeah, just wait it out. Not a bad shout. Usually I do this in 2 pickups. One to flip it over and one to shove it in. So, like, you don't have to wait as long. Like, if you have it like that, you can just kind of slam it gently against the wall, and then re-pick it up, and it'll be in the right orientation. If you have the speed 60 facing you, like the flat part of the sign facing you, and then you push it up against the wall a little bit, and then drop it and pick it up, it'll probably rotate to where you want. Kind of like. Then that looks. Yeah, okay, that was a little too far, a little too deep, I want to say. If that happens. Because you want the laser emitter to be smack dab in the middle of those two brackets that tie the plate of the sign to the post. See, that is even worse. That's even shallower. That'll work. It's a bit too far out for my taste. I mean, yeah, but it works. We're not losing that much time. It's fine. Right, Acropolis. See how you do this part. Sure. I mean, I believe you. You press the X button on the input display. Keep left at the fork. Fair enough. Destroying that tower is a console strat because it prevents lag, but, like, you know, you're not a console. Okay, one thing, how I do this combat is I do it in 2 passes. And I have a rule, don't double back. So, like, the first pass you want to do is this way. And the second pass you want to do is this way. And then by then, do not double back. Double back once you have completed both passes to clean up any stragglers. And if they are holding an explosive, you may just vertex off them and just go up and you'd be sad. See, there's all these to your right. Oh, case in point. You can stand on the explosives, and thus, like, sometimes that happens. Still good. 101 is not bad. I'm just gonna preface this with this Teleco sucks. Okay, good. I don't blame you if you don't turn the corner here. You want to be, like, just a teensy bit in this direction when you do this telethrow. What I look for is, like, this triangle. And I want to be in this corner. Generally. Or this corner. Like, you'll see it once you, like, stand on the object and, like, move around it for a little bit. You'll see this triangle yourself. But there's, like, a clear, like, change in elevation right here. That's generally where I set up. Is above, just above that line. Because, like, if you look at where you kind of slide to, you fall right into this pocket with, like, the line kind of preventing you from sliding off. And that was just an unfortunate angle. Like, you can back it up with one of these. You just have to wait for your gauge. Okay, good. Yeah, you want a steeper angle than what you had there. I agree. Yeah, just dish it. You needed to walk way further around that one. It is messed up. So, one thing to note about this guy, you don't want to throw any of the large boulders. You want to keep that one specifically alive. Like this one. You want to keep that one alive. What I do is I pick up the one past it, this one. I lift it and then rotate sharply to the left and drop it kind of into the robot. And hopefully it creates shrapnel that you can throw at it, as well as damaging it a little bit. Not throw it, but just pick it up, move it, and drop it kind of into the guy. Tends to be a lot more effective and gives you shrapnel, so you can use this as ammo as your final telethrow. This is still good. You still got the third one back there. That's a great angle. Best angle I've ever seen a ball give somebody. Shrapnel tends to give you better angles if you can finagle it. Genesis, you did the defun. Congratulations. Amy, you get hit and you probably get a 52 as a result. Oh, Lord. What happened? Who hurt you besides, like, everyone? Okay, you do it a little bit here. But you want to, for the most part, pan the camera down so you can see where you are as Amy relative to the robot a little better. Because your depth perception isn't that good when you're, like, this close to the floor. And yeah, that line was just, like, asking to be aggroed. This guy is kind of a butt, depending on how it's rotated. You want to go to his right, because on his left is, like, a little flower pot. Yep. Yep. Bonk. 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 Now, right stick down is really helpful here because it helps you take a good line towards the... Yeah, towards the leader. Now you just gotta wait it out. Yeah, you do this. Good double hit there. Ultimately, yeah, it's just a question of knowledge, and panning the camera to look down so that you can just see where you're going. Let's see what you do here. Oh, you take the death. Okay. This is fine, but it's not the fastest thing you can do. On emulator specifically, if you don't care about, like, replacing your save file for any run out of Radical Train, you save quit and re-enter here. And where that spawns you is where you die. It is faster, given the timing method. Okay, you took the right side and you got in. Just be cleaner. That's it. Radical Train. Nice angle. Very nice. Now, if you have trouble ETDing here, you can always, like, teleslide in towards the left wall. But it's a very weird angle, and I like ETDing there better because it just works at more places. Although it does require doing an ETD, so, like, weigh your options. Either way, 30 is fine. Winner. Okay. Shadow. At the beginning of this fight, you just want to do a regular teleport dash backwards. You don't want to teleslide, you just want to teleport dash, and then you hold right trigger. And you want these barrels more to the left of these red barrels. So you want the barrels like kind of like over here eventually. Which means when you pick them up, they have to be to your left, generally. Like, so here... Go a little bit back. So instead of running straight at the barrels, you would run in this direction. And the barrels would be to your left. You jump really high here as well. You want to be up against the train and basically short hop just so that you're peeking over the train. That way all the barrels kind of hit him from below. And they're always aimed up. That way you can kind of juggle him instead of like risking you aiming down and then there not being a piece of debris to help the combo continue. Okay. Unfortunately, the shovels don't deal damage. So... it's a little stupid, but... yeah, get that out of your way. Good call. Nice batch. Worth noting, there were 3 in the back left corner of the arena. And by back left, I mean, like... you're approaching... on the other side of the train here are 3 more barrels that I usually pick up first before these 3. Over here. So I pick up my 7 from this and this. And then if I need the extra 3, I get those. And spread these things out. You're gonna rotate. I think that 3 would have killed. But I think you're good here. Nice. Very nice fight. Honestly, like, sub-minute is all you can ask for. Sub-50 is all you can really ask for. But, like, you just didn't know about the 3 barrels in the far corner, so, like, I don't blame you. But, something to keep in mind. AB. Good call. Pause buffer, I respect it. Where the hell did you go? Huh? Oh, you got the hilarious thing where you like walk up. That's funny. I've seen that like once. I don't know why it happens, but it does. Yeah, you want to curve in a bit later, or else you get smacked. Also, I see the speed at which you're doing teleslides. You want to let each one rock a little bit longer, so that you at least get a little bit of gauge back. Like, those 2 were too fast. Like, if you know that, like, you have a spacing in which, like, you'll still have resources left over, then yeah, that's probably fine. This one's a pain in the ass. I don't blame you. Ball. Black belt telethrow is barely faster if you have good movement here. It's just more consistent. Okay, playing it safe. Fair enough. Yeah, SCTD has killed me, so I don't blame you for hovering there. No hope and clip. That's fine. Like, it saves like 10 to 12. One thing you can do if you're not going for a open clip is you can aim for right here with an SCTD off of this ledge, and if you miss the SCTD, you just go for the thing. Oops. It's kind of weird because you kind of have to turn in towards the door. And you might get hit by the lasers on the other side, but, like, it's worth practicing as a backup to open clip if you fail it and you just have to go in. Okay. Oh no, why are we throwing? The thing about throwing in aquatic base is that you lock onto the worms, and you want to stun the worms. You don't have time to do 3 damage to anything, really. Look at how I do the combat, and how Nick does the combat. We do it basically the same way. Don't look at how Zams does the combat. He does it in a way that's faster, but also riskier. Like, me, Nick, or Rev are good references for this combat. See, like, you still have an explosive box up. You want to drop one on the second lizard. Yeah, that one. Do not be afraid to get hit in the air here. Like, it's fine. And you have worms here. You want to wait for them to double hit. This was, like, at most 5 damage. But you kind of just let everything blow up at the same time. And if you're in this situation, you just wait. Okay, that worked. I'm not mad, but that could have not worked because the boxes could have broken early or something. I would have either waited for a puff or just waited for a stun, if it were me, but that's just a me thing. Yeah, you do this. You just walk away. Okay, cool. Sick, get your 127. It's worth learning how to Ana sometime in the future. Save those couple seconds. Okay, movement is here. Zans has a very good Ana guide. You should be able to get like 124 or 123 pretty quickly. What I know is teleslides are not just for going uphill. You do SCTD at the right place, but you let go very early. Like, you're over this hill, and you see, like, it kind of slopes downward. Kind of here-ish. So you can hold that out for longer, because it would be more optimal to SCTD there. Get your gauge back so you can teleslide a couple more times towards the rock. So that you can, yeah, on that upslope. Nice. Nice. I feel like those 3 were, like, too far away from the cage. But yeah, this adjustment works out. Although it is kind of close, the worm is just exploding you. Test of memory 3-5, who cares? Test of heart. You just want to walk forward because you want to keep walking forward, actually. Let me just see how you do. Drop, yep. Pick up, drop. Grab everything. Okay, so for these guys, if you do this strat, you want to target them from the air. Because if you target from the ground, they will take 4 hits to kill. They really have 3 health, but if you shoot the legs, it's like an extra point of health that you have to deal with. Missiles, you do not have to stagger. You can, like, triple tap or quad tap if you have to, and then they die. Their explosions are so quick that you don't care. It's just vibes. Unfortunate, part 2. I respect the gauge conservation. Oh no, a decent final wave, like, all things considered. The balls were kind of trolling you, especially that first one. But you didn't play it, like, too crazy with your gauge, and you just kind of chilled. Got yourself a win or something left, which is fine, but knowing the attack from the air on the 3 big blue guys is worth. You get the ETD off of Phil? Ah. It's weird. Jumping off of that is weird. Oh, did we get a first try? Oh, nice. Hey, we hit the frame. You'll love to see it. Can't really complain. You got up and over in a reasonable amount of time the first time. Good. I like to give myself more space, so this is just a me thing. But after you lift forward, once you've successfully taken off the post, I like lifting back left, just to give myself more space between the box and the wall. But you got it. It's just kind of far out, but like you're gonna make it. Ugh. Okay, yeah. That sideways teleport really costs you a lot of height. If you realize you're out, you want to go high. Want to reserve as much height as possible. That way, either an ETD can make it, or you could just end up closer to this. Stun that blue guy first. Because as soon as you aggro him, he's moving. And that is not good. You do get a lock onto the blue guy, so... Yeah, you just don't need to stagger misses at all. If an enemy has 3 health, just triple tap. If an enemy has 2 health, just double tap. It's not like Iblis Rocks at all. And as long as the target is still alive, it'll go to the same target, so you don't really have to worry about that kind of target interference if you're triple tapping towards one target. Alright. That's fair. Yep. That's fair. Miss the ATD. Take the rings. Good angle there. Good turn. Opting out of the ETD there. Something you can do, and this is just kind of tiny, is that it's very easy to teleslide on these like little crater things, like this one. Because they have like these little ridges. Just something to consider. You can teleslide with a considerable delay compared to just flat ground on these craters specifically. This is always stressful. You just lose so much time if you. Okay, yeah, fuck it, just go. Yeah, yeah. You made it to this upper platform, which is great news. That's a good hover choice. Because, like, that ETD saves, like, a second to the string, and if you hold X at the wrong time, you're just going to negate the string, and then you get really sad. Good trigger discipline on walking into that dash pad. You probably do know what happens if you teleport dash instead. Ideally, you want to land actually like here and then go straight there. If you get a jump off the door. So because it's a little higher, it's a little harder to get to, but that's ideal. Or straight to like that tilty platform that you just jumped on. Because it's at a higher height, so you can ETD instead. The one thing I could have seen you doing here, and this is just something you have to make subconscious in other places throughout the run. When you jump here, jump and then hold X, like you're about to infinite water bounce. That way you start gaining meter while you're jumping. There's a little bit of multitasking that takes a little bit to get used to. But once you start doing it, you're going to have like more gauge than you end up with, because like you're empty right now. So like you would have been maybe at like half by the time you hit the ground, maybe like a third. Still like good call on the stun. Make sure you have a ring in here. Yep. And you want to hold X immediately. You might be a genius. You might have solved, like, high GL lizard forever. Holy crap. I have died to that lizard that you just completely invalidated so many times. I call him high GL lizard because somebody in my chat was like, high GL, and then I died to that freaking lizard. On like, I don't know, decent pace. That's probably a better option. It's probably only barely slower. You could be more aggressive with your meter in some of these like shorter movement sections. The 3 is still good. But I guess better safe than sorry. Especially on like a minute ahead pace, I get it. Nice. I only think that's a 344 because you just that ETD in section 2 I mean section 1 after the telethrow was, yeah, was unfortunate. Although you do sound like you're gearing up to learn the Flamecore S2 telethrow anyways, so maybe, I don't know. I think you get a 220 here. What you want? It's 2. Again, no rotation. No 360 to kind of shuffle the puffs around. But it's okay. How much damage you get off of this? That's 2. Three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. If you hit every other one of these puffs, you're on track for 220. Okay, don't go for that one. You want to leave everything after this trail of rings right here alive and then go back right. And then kind of repeat the process that you did the first time. Anything past this trail of rings... Oh, drop better. Anything past this trail of rings is going to be, like, risky because it was just going to summon puffs like that. And they may or may not collide with your stuff. So that's super risky. Yeah, you're kind of not letting the object rotate around you. Like that. That was perfect. You just did it all on only one of them. And this is just on the edge of 220. You know where the dead zone is? Yeah. Does he know? You know about the one. But I gotta show you the other because there's 2 puffs you can get there. There's one like behind into your left which you did get. And there's also one behind into your right which is harder to get, but you just have to know. It's a knowledge thing. And yep. Winner. Congrats on the 31. Looking forward to future silver submissions from you, man. I forgot all of what I said, but, you know, I said it. And you can go back in the video and watch it. Well, at least the important things. I don't know what to highlight. But, you know. You can always go back to a specific level and, you know, it's YouTube. You can watch this. Bye.